Hi, welcome to the show. This is One Day to Love. I'm Tonja Walker, and I'm very excited. This show is going to help me find the right person in my life. Therefore, it is going to help you. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear your stories. We have got so much great information and a lot of fun stories and fun celebrities and psychiatrists and authors and just so many great things that have to do with meeting your significant other and being successful. So, you can't wait. This is so stay tuned. I can't wait for you to meet Sean Kanan. Welcome to One Date to Love. Today, my guest is Sean Kanan. Sean Kanan is on the Bold and the Beautiful. He had a series called Studio City. He's been on so many things, but my favorite new thing that he's doing is Way of the Cobra. It's an Audible book, and he wrote the book, and now it's Audible, just dropped, and I've been listening to it, and it's amazing. Now he's got this book, which is the new book, which I didn't know there was going to be a new book, so we have to talk about this one too.
It's
so
great
welcome,
to be here with you.
Sean.
Thank you so much, Tonja.
I'm so happy you're here.
Me too.
I just have been listening and listening and listening to this book. Okay, I'm listening to it before I go to sleep.
Okay.
It's very inspiring. So when you're trying to sleep, the strength of your voice and the things we're supposed to do to live like a cobra, right, is not exactly conducive to sleeping. Right?
I would agree with that. It's supposed, it gets you fired up. It gets you to start thinking about your goals, about the strategies you want to use to achieve them. So maybe in the morning.
Maybe in the morning, but I can't lay in bed in the morning. But I love the things that you talk about, like the self-defense. You talk about self-defense, but you also talk about how to make things happen with people, how to get a communication going that's honest and good. You talk about different ways of determining whether somebody is an honest, good person, a person you want to be friends with, or whether this is a psychopath or a sociopath.
Well, that's one chapter. I don't want to.
I love that chapter.
That's an interesting chapter.
I love that chapter.
There are a lot of people that can present some serious obstacles and challenges with their behavior, and it's important to be able to identify them.
You know how many books are written about I was married to a narcissist?
Probably a lot.
So many.
Yeah.
So many. Yeah. I mean, I've got women friends up one side and down the other that have had that problem. And they meet them and they're charming and they're wonderful. And then the next thing you know, they are not paying much attention to you, or they're not treating you.
Because they're busy paying it to themselves.
Yeah, they're not treating you right, and they're not taking into account your feelings or anything, really.
I think one of the best ways to defend yourself against that is, one of the central things about the book is assuming responsibility for your life and cultivating self-awareness. And when you're in a really good place in your own life, you become more attuned to other people's behavior because you're in a place of strength and focus. And the other thing too is I'm a big proponent of the law of vibration. So you know about that?
Yeah.
I'm sure you do, right?
Tell me.
So, the law of vibration basically says that everything is energy and it gives off a vibration.
So if somebody makes your skin crawl, run.
That's it. I mean, that's a really good defense mechanism we have. But we put out a vibration because thoughts and emotions and words give off a vibration, and you attract what you put out. And if you're in a really good place where you're self-aware, you're confident, all of those great things, chances are that you're going to attract like people into your circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been really lucky to have really good friends and longtime friends and people I can.
That tells a lot about a person. When someone has, longitudinal friends, lifelong friends, even from childhood, there's a reason why. Because there's something about them that is a good and decent and ethical person that allows them to maintain those long-term friendships.
Yeah. But sometimes it's nice for me to see that in my own daughter.
Yeah.
She made friends at the Academy of Dramatic Arts, the American Academy, and all the people were European. All her best friends were European. She's been to Europe to visit them, and they've been over here to visit her every year, twice a year for the past 4 years.
on some level, she must have gotten that from you. I mean, she must have seen that you've got these long-term friends and
Yeah.
recognized the importance of it.
Friendship.
Great, yeah.
She really does.
Yeah.
And it makes me
You should be
very
proud of that.
happy. I'm very
Good.
happy. Yeah, I'm happy about that. Her dad was like that too. Her dad was like that too. So you were married to somebody else,
I was.
kind of went south.
It did.
Then you met this beautiful woman, Michelle.
Years later, yes.
And you guys are writing a book together now.
We are. The third installment of the Way of the Cobra franchise trilogy is going to be called Cobra Couples.
Oh, I can't wait to have her on the show. I've been dying to meet her.
She's
He talks
amazing.
about her all the time in this book that I've been listening to. He'll say, "Well, Michelle says this and Michelle says that," and I'm like, "What man does that?" I mean, men don't do that. They don't give her,
pretty incredible.
You give her credit a
Well,
lot,
she's taught me a lot, and
but they don't say that either.
well, they should. They should.
I know.
And I just thought it was really interesting because, relationships are tough. Marriage is tough. And it's made even more difficult when you're married in Hollywood and in the entertainment industry. And we have been able to maintain a really great relationship for well over a decade. And we're not experts, but we've learned a couple things. And those are things that, whether you're in a relationship that's married, gay, straight, whatever, there are certain common denominators that you need in a successful relationship. And the more I started thinking about this, I was like, well, if I wrote this myself, that's only one side. I need a woman's point of view to give her side of it, to really give a full perspective of it. And
For Cobra Couples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we've been working on that, and we're committed to having that out this year.
This year?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'll have you both back.
I would love that.
I would love that too.
I'll be quiet. You can just talk to her.
Oh, well, you're amazing. I mean, she knows how lucky she is. I'm sure, and you do too. You're a really special couple. You really are. So what's this one?
So Welcome to the Kumite is the sequel to Way of the Cobra. So what is the Kumite? Well, Kumite
That's this one.
refers to an epic battle against your greatest opponent. Who's your greatest opponent?
Yourself.
Of course, it's yourself.
Yeah,
right?
I knew.
So
I got it right. I got
how
it
do
right.
you win? How do you
Yes.
defeat the opponent? Well, you do it by emerging every day as a wiser, kinder, smarter, stronger version of who you were the day before.
Wow, there's some great stuff in here. I haven't looked at this one.
And so one of the big overriding themes of this book is that if you want results, ignore them. Okay? What you need to do is build a bulletproof process. So I'll give you an example. So I'm going to guess that when you and I drive a car, we do probably 99.9% the exact same thing. You unlock the car, you sit down, you put your seatbelt in, you put the address in the nav if you need it, you check your mirrors, throw it in reverse, check again, throw it in drive, obey the street signs, and you expect to get to your destination, right? You don't drive like this going, oh my God, I hope I make it. You stay out of the results because you've built a bulletproof process for driving. With everything we do in life, there's a process. Like, for instance, learning lines. People always say to me, how can you learn all those lines on Bold and the Beautiful? I can do it because I have a process. I don't worry the night before that I don't know them all, because part of my process doesn't finalize till I get to the studio that day, run them with the other actors, and then it crystallizes, right? So with everything, with relationships, with losing weight, with anything, if you create a bulletproof process, you apply it effectively and consistently, using diagnostics to see what's working, what's not working, you don't have to worry about the
But
results.
how do you stay on task? I mean, everybody can lose weight for 2 days.
Are we talking about losing weight or time management?
losing weight and all of it. I'm bad at all of it. I really am.
I'll tell you
I
what.
can do it, but I usually have to spend a lot of money and go somewhere.
Okay.
And I usually pay people to starve me. That's what I
No,
usually do.
starving is absolutely not the
I've
way to
paid
do it.
so many people to not feed me. You would not believe. 3,000 here.
First of all, you got to look at your association with food. What is your relationship with food? Is it something?
Depends. Is it ice cream?
Well, is it?
That's a love
It could
affair.
be, but is it comfort?
Yeah.
Is it social? I mean, for me, I used to always make business meetings at lunch or dinner, and it doesn't matter how healthy you eat at a restaurant. Their job is not to keep you skinny; it's to keep you coming back. And so, they're insidious with the way they put calories and things. So I don't, with rare exception, I don't have business meetings centered around food.
So that's changed for you.
That's changed for me. What else can I tell you? One of the first things I tell people, I say, do you like history? Because I love history.
I do too.
So when Julius Caesar invaded England and his men were really, really nervous and scared, they got onto the beach and he said, okay, burn the boats. And they said, but Caesar, how are we going to get back? He said, you're either going to win here or you're going to die here. And if we win, the enemy will build our boats. So I talk about burning your boats in the kitchen, in your pantry, in your cupboard. You're going to go through and get rid of everything that says fat-free because it's crap. You're going to get rid of everything that you know is bad and naughty. You're out of the Keebler business. You got no business eating anything with an elf on it. Sugar, flour. I mean, I don't not eat flour sometimes, but it's really rare. Stuff with seed oils, anything with
Kernel, they've always called
soybean
it
oil, vegetable oil, and anything with high fructose corn syrup.
palm kernel oil.
That stuff.
Yeah.
So I get people to take responsibility and stock of the way they're eating and then get rid of that stuff. I say, you're never going back to those boats again because they're gone.
Yeah.
You're going to learn how to do
I
new
did
things.
learn that at the Pritikin Center. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't even let you eat meat.
There's one more thing too. You don't need to be perfect. Okay? Here's the thing. If you're perfect for 5 days in a row and then on the weekend you're having French fries and beer and burgers, you screw up all of your work. I need you to be good consistently. You don't have to be perfect, just consistently good.
So no beer, fried fries. And
If you want to have a beer, you can have a beer every week.
I don't drink, so that
Yeah,
was easy.
but I mean, you know
but
what I mean?
the French fries and the burgers, I like the.
Okay, but if you're gonna have French fries, then you know what? Have sweet potato fries in the air fryer.
That's what I do.
And don't have like the McDonald's jumbo thing. Have a cup of them. And
Well,
have
it's working for you.
Well,
That's all
thank
I
you.
can
Thank
say.
you. I
It's working
appreciate
for you. I'm so tired of going to the store and having a double zero.
No, wait a
looking-
minute. Wait,
I'm looking for the
You
ti-
shouldn't even be going to the store, and I'll tell you why.
No, the shopping is for clothes. I had to
Oh,
buy
for clothes.
and I'm going through there, and it's double zero.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah,
that?
that's tough.
Is that a person that's invisible?
Yeah, but
double
here's
zero.
the
and
thing.
then there's 2s and 4s, and then there's no 10s. I'm a 10. There's no 10s. Now either everybody's a 10 and they're buying them, or they're not even putting them in the store.
They're not. And,
It's terrible.
Look, I mean, you have to find the weight that is comfortable for your body and not worry about what people's Instagram feeds and the covers of magazines, fitness magazines, most of the time, which are airbrushed. And it gives
That's true.
women and men a completely
Unrealistic.
distorted perception
That's true.
of what reality is. I mean, first and foremost, it's about being healthy. It's about being healthy and feeling good in clothes and feeling good naked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I feel good naked when the lights are down a little bit. Meryl Streep had this really wonderful line in this movie that she did with Alec Baldwin.
Oh, when they were divorced and got married.
Yeah.
I just rewatched that.
She said, "Turn the lights off." And he's like, "Why?" She goes, "I don't look like I used to. Turn the lights off." And it was so funny. It was so funny. I just love her. Did you see the Golden Globes the other day?
I did not see, I saw clips of it from after.
Yeah, it was really disappointing in a lot of areas. But I was glad that Oppenheimer did
I was too, because one of my friends who's in Studio City was an Oppenheimer. And so I was very...
Who?
Will Roberts, who played the Secretary of Defense, I believe. It was General somebody.
I'm going to
forgetting
watch
his
it
name, but
again. I'll look him up.
He got this audition and didn't know what it was for. And they wouldn't tell him for a while. And then he got it. He's like, oh my God, I got a scene with, Matt Damon and
Gee, Merry
Cillian Murphy.
Christmas.
Yeah, and I was
Can
like,
you
God, go,
imagine?
man.
Oh.
And he did a terrific job, and he's a fantastic actor. And I discovered him first in Studio City. Not discovered him. He was sorry.
You found him. I love it. I found Zac Efron.
Wow.
I put him in the Derby Stallion. He had been on one tiny little part on Summerland, and I put him in the Derby Stallion, and he starred in the movie.
That's fantastic.
And he got High School Musical right after that.
Yeah.
It's funny when you've been doing this a long time, you see things in people, don't you?
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
It's nice.
I think one of the biggest things is authenticity. Whether it's as a normal person or you see it in someone's acting. I mean, authenticity, you can't fake it.
No.
Yeah.
No. I've even met people who've been putting things up for me because I haven't been off the air. I've been off the air for a while. And they just keep putting things up, and sometimes I don't remember them.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. Somebody put something on one of the pages, and it was me on a show with Dick Clark.
Oh, wow.
And I come out as Alex. I don't remember doing it. And, I remember life.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
my life. Yeah. It's really funny. It's on
Yeah, it's funny that is
it's on
too.
the Fans of Olivia page. So tell me about how long it takes you and how you find the time to write books.
So Way the Cobra took a while. Once and I say we because Michelle was,
Here she goes again.
well,
See? You're pretty amazing. That's
she
why I'm
was
telling you.
absolutely critical, fundamental, integral to, I mean, she designed the covers of the books. She structured the interior look of the book. So once she had figured out how to do that, and I wrote this one, she already had the blueprint for how to set it up. That's a lot of what really took a long time. For instance, this Cobra here, we had to create this because, of course, you can't use a Cobra that's somebody else's.
Yeah.
So Michelle had to teach herself how to do this program. I forget what it was. So she created all of this.
That's wonderful.
But once we figured it out, this one went a lot quicker. Also because I had a lot of material that I had already written that I didn't put into the other one. So, yeah.
What about your children? Tell me about your children.
So I have a daughter, Simone. Simone's 21. Michelle has 4 kids. So when I got together with Michelle, she's like, I've got 4 kids. And I was like, I'm not scared.
She's
I
going,
was
he's
ready.
outta
I
here.
was ready.
He's ready to vote.
When I met Michelle, she had just separated from her then husband. And she comes into this room and she is angry and she's fired up. And it was like all 4 seasons in one day. And I looked and I go, I'm going to marry her. And I did.
How did you meet her when she was in this situation? Was she on your show?
Nope. No, she's not an actress. I was on a date with a friend of hers. The girl that I was with for this date said, listen, my girlfriend just separated from her husband. She's not in a good way. We're going to go pick her up. And I was like, oh, this is getting more interesting. Okay. Anyway, so we picked Michelle up and it just became really evident almost immediately that I was with the wrong girl. And Michelle and I wound up having lunch together. And lunch has been about 12 and a half years.
Oh my gosh. So it was something about her fire.
Something about her fire, her intelligence, her humor. But with the 4 kids and mine.
When did you find out about that?
I found out pretty quick.
You did. And you still stayed.
Yeah, I did. But there was a point in time when Michelle and I were living with 5 kids.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've never been in the military, so I'm not a combat veteran. But I think right after that, having 4 teenage girls under one roof, you deserve some kind of medal.
You should. Yeah, you should have one. You should have one. Well, my husband had 3 kids when we married, and then we had 2 babies.
Oh.
And so the difference in the ages was significant, But I had 5 kids. I mean, I had 5 kids at the same time.
It's amazing, though.
It was a lot.
It teaches you a lot about yourself.
Yeah.
I went through a lot of transformation during the time when they first met me to now, and they have all made me a better man for sure.
What about her dad? What about because we had some issues with the mixed family with the
No, I mean,
ex-wife and stuff.
their father is a good guy. He's a doctor. He is extremely involved in their lives and
good.
cares about them. So, it's all good.
So y'all get along.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say it wasn't a little bumpy in the beginning.
It is.
Because it is.
It is.
People don't separate if things are good.
I know.
So,
I know.
yeah, it was a little contentious and bumpy years ago, but all good now.
So how was it dating somebody that was separated? Because I go on these apps, and if somebody's separated, I don't go out with them because they're separated. I'm afraid they're going to get back together with the person, or that they're not really, they're not ready to meet somebody. She was.
It was weird, and I could see why somebody would say, well, weren't you worried that you were a rebound or something? I absolutely justified in that. I knew for myself, I had reached a place where I had been divorced a while, had dated, knew what I wanted, knew what I didn't want. And I also came to the realization that if I had another serious relationship, I was not going to just live with somebody, because I believe that when you do that, sometimes there's a crescendo. And if you don't hit the right point, you start going down.
Yep.
And so when Michelle and I met, I probably freaked her out. I was like, listen, I said, I'll live with you. We'll live together for a while, but only with the understanding that we're going to get married soon. And that's when she again reminded me, I have 4 kids. But we had this phenomenal wedding in Italy. The kids were all there.
Wow.
Yeah. The mayor of
Send me some
the
pictures.
town. I
And
will.
I'm making a what do you call it? A website for
Yeah, I
this thing.
will.
So I'll put them up
The
there.
mayor of the town married us. We actually got married in Los Angeles a month before because it's difficult to get married in Italy. You have to take out an ad in
I'm sure.
whatever. Anyway, so we
take
go.
out an ad in the
well, you
paper.
have to basically. It's kind of like saying, does anyone object? To
the whole.
a little bit.
Oh my
So anyway,
God.
we got married. We got married in criminal court in downtown LA because a friend of ours was it.
It's funny.
So the judge says, normally when I give somebody a life sentence, they're not too happy, but I think with you two, it's going to be okay.
Oh, what a clever judge.
Yeah. So we were already married when we went to Italy, but we had the actual wedding. It was
awesome.
fantastic.
How long have you been on Bold and the Beautiful now?
Well, I've been off and on since 2000 is when I started. So this is my 24th year.
Darn.
Yeah.
Did you do YNR?
YNR, my characters crossed over to
I thought
YNR,
so,
and,
yeah.
I was on General Hospital for years, and I was on Sunset Beach
Yeah, I knew that. I knew
for the
that.
last 6 months.
I knew that. I keep missing you. Every time I was on General Hospital, you weren't there. But that was a great show. I really think that the shows now, except for the ones that Bill Bell started, they've really they've just gone a different way. That's a shame because you have to rush through stuff so fast, and they're not giving contracts like they used to.
Yeah.
So people leave out of the blue, and people at home go, "What happened to so and so?" And that's because they're not willing to pay them to stay. And it's really changed a lot. Except at nighttime, everything that's on at nighttime is a soap opera.
Of course it is.
Every single
Everything.
thing.
Everything's, largely a soap opera.
Even the war shows, even SWAT. You got to watch last week to find out who was going with who. You know, it's really.
And who's the star of SWAT? Shamar Moore.
I
Who's,
know.
from
That's why I
YNR, so-
mentioned that.
Yeah.
That's really interesting to me. FBI, all of them. They're some of them you can watch. You can watch them without knowing what happened last week. Some of them, but a lot of them you really can't.
Right.
Like Yellowstone, you really need to know what's going on.
Right.
I mean, so many shows are soap operas. Yeah. And so when they say that people lost interest in soap operas, no, they didn't. They just moved them to nighttime.
I think the thing about soap operas is they have been on so much longer than any other nighttime shows.
Mm-hmm.
And people grow up having a relationship with the characters. And for some people, that's one of the most important relationships in their life. And they know that they can turn that TV on and they're going to see somebody that they have got a relationship with. And there's a stability in it. There's a dependability in it.
Were you ever hooked on a soap? I was when I was younger.
I used to watch Dynasty.
I did too. I watched Young and the Restless when it came on.
There's this great monologue in Studio City, and Michelle wrote this one. And the producer of the fictitious show is in danger of getting the show canceled. Oh. And the guy from the network says, the soaps are dying. And she gives this great monologue where she goes, I've heard that same old song for years. Let me tell you something. When my mother goes to the doctor, my show's on TV. She goes, when they're standing in line at the supermarket, who are they looking at? Da-da-da-da. She goes, it's dependable, it's countable, and people love it. And I was like, Michelle, for somebody that hasn't been in daytime, you've encapsulated one of the greatest things that makes soaps stay around, that people love them.
And jail.
Yeah.
They watch in jail.
Watch in jail.
Yeah,
yes.
They send letters.
Oh, trust me. I
get the bad letters from jail.
I've gotten them too.
And hospitals, but jail.
I bet they're weirder for me.
Well, mine are like, I'm getting out. And just the other day, I love the way you ran the mob. I thought that was really great. Great way to kill Carla. Oh, it's so funny. I really am grateful for all my fans, though, even the ones that are in jail. Yeah. Well, I can't wait to have you and Michelle back. It's been a joy. Yeah. Everybody, wait for this. This is out now.
That's out now on Amazon.
But the Audible book that I'm listening to is very, very helpful. Audible, Way of the Cobra on Audible. It's fantastic, and you're fabulous at that.
Thank you very much.
So, and Bold and the Beautiful, make sure you watch them on that too. Yeah. And anything else that you're doing, we'll make sure to tune.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. This was so nice to finally sit down with you and get to know each other better.
Yeah, absolutely. You know a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. We'll be right back.